Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today we're going to be inspired by the spring birds that we're hearing around our school playground. And we're going to be inspired by all the spring birds that we hear at home as well. And we're going to be making a really large nest with some birds inside. And we can make them baby birds, we can make them mama birds, whoever you want. And then we're going to put some eggs in as well. And this lesson is made for children very young, ages 5 and up.
I'm 5.
My students just finished watching a bird video that I made of a baby bird that came to visit the art room a few years ago. If you would like to view that video, just click on the title of this video and you'll see a link to that video. The bird was learning how to fly and his nest was close to my art room, and he fell out of the nest, and I just carefully brought him into the art room so we could observe him close up. And so you get to see his little beak and his little feet close up, and this is of a baby bluebird. We're going to start off our picture at the very top of the page. And we're going to come to the top right corner and we're going to add some leaves from the trees. So we're going to start on the edge of our page and draw down diagonal. A nice big long diagonal line. If you notice, look how big that is compared to my finger. Here's the tip of my finger on the edge of my page. It's almost halfway, right at the halfway point of my finger. So it's a nice long line. Then we're going to do a curve. So we're going to come up and then right back to the start of that line. This is going to form half the leaf. Now we're going to do the other half. So we're going to come from this line, right where we ended, and I'm going to go up. This is a diagonal line. Then I'm going to curve back to where the line started, right here at the edge of my page. So if we look, the leaf has a point on one side with a curve to the other line, and it's got a point on this side with a big curve to the other line. So that's how we're going to make our basic leaf shape. And you can make your leaves different sizes. They can be fatter, they can be thinner. So we're going to do it again, but this time I'm starting at this corner, coming down. Then I'm going to come down and around, just a curve right to the tip. I'm going to do the same again here. Up and around. We can add them coming down straight. This one's really long. Curve and another curve. You can make them even smaller. Here's a short one. Curve, curve. So we're adding lots of leaves at the top. They're not all the same size. Let's do another one going down this way. And then we curve up and back. Let's do it again on this side. Down and back. So the edges of the page have several leaves on them. That's so it looks like the nest is snuggled into a tree branch. Below these two leaves, we're going to jump down and we're going to do a circle. So we're at this side of the page and I'm going to jump down and I'm going to do a circle. I'm leaving some room at the top here because I don't want it to be really close to the leaves. The circle, if you take your pinky finger, is as big as your fingernail. Look how big that is. If you made a really little circle, just make it bigger. And you can color that circle in. See how I colored my little circle in? You want to put your finger down. It should be almost the size of your finger. Now, I'm going to bring this in so you can see it. Now we're going to draw around that circle. This time, we're going to go very close to the circle. It's like this circle that we're going to make is going to be hugging the circle. That means really close. Watch me first. I jump up a little bit, and I'm going to draw another circle right around the first circle. See how close that is? That's going to form the bird's eye. Let's look at the eye. Now we're going to make a circle that forms the bird's head. This circle is a lot bigger than the eye shape. It goes around the eye again, but look at all the space. Watch me as I do this again. I'm going to do another circle around this one, but it's going to be quite large. I'm going to jump up, put a line, and then I'm coming around. Look how much space there is down below. I went way below this circle. Around and back up. So look, I can put some fingers in here. Lots of space. You want to have lots of space in your bird's head too. Look at all the space. This bird is going to be looking at the baby bird in the nest. So we're going to have its beak facing sideways. This is called a profile view or sideways. When we see the side of the bird, we don't see two eyes like this. This is a front view bird. This is a side view bird. With a side view bird, the beak is on the side of its head. Let's make the beak now. We're going to come to the side of the head, and I'm going to do a horizontal line out. I went to the middle area of this line. Now I'm going to take this line, and I don't want to round it down here. I want to do a straight line because I want this shape to be pointy. See how a bird's beak is pointy? Now I'm going to come down, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to come up to the top of the circle. So I have a nice beak, and it's pointed. Now we're going to do the bird's body. So I'm just going to come from the bottom of the circle on one side, and I'm going to come out slightly and down. If you look, it's almost down the length of my finger if you measure with your finger. Look at that. See how long my index finger is? It almost meets my knuckles when I point with my index finger. I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to come out slightly and then down straight. When I point to the bird with my finger, you see, it comes to my knuckles. This line is that long. Now we're going to come to this space here. And we want to do two eyes because we want to have the other bird sitting in the nest right here next to this bird. So if you pretend your fingernails are the bird's eyes, we took our two index fingers, let's decide where we want this bird. We don't want this bird near the edge of the page, and we don't want this bird too close to this bird right here. So let's find a good space where this bird would fit. Let's see, not too high up because we won't have room for the head. Let's come down into this space. So you're going to plan your bird as well with me. So place your 2 fingers where you're going to put your eyes for your other bird. Again, don't put them too close to the edge. Come into the middle. And then what I do is I take 1 finger away and I hold my pen, and this is where I'm going to put my first eye. So I'm going to draw the first eye, then I'm going to jump over and draw the second eye. This is the second bird we're making. So as an artist, we used our fingers and we planned where it would look best because we have to leave room for the head. And we want the head to be nice and big in here. So now I have my 2 circles for eyes. I can go ahead and add another circle right around those eyes, really close to the eye. We can color in the black pupil, just carefully. So now we have 2 eyes. Below the eyes, let's do a straight line. It's going to start here and come over. Just a short, straight line. Then I'm going to go down and back up like the letter V. When I go down, it's going to touch this end of the line, and then I'm going to come back up and touch this end of the line. It's down and up. It forms a point, and it is the letter V. When it connects, it forms the shape, a triangle. So we have a triangle that's pointing down. Our next step is to do a straight line above, and then we're going to draw a circle around, go slow, under the beak. See how I went under the beak, around, and end it where it started. So then I have the circle formed around the head. We can put some lines going to the left, a line going to the right, and a few lines to the top of his head for some feathers sticking out. Now we're going to come down and see where this bird ends. We're going to come over to this side, and that's about where we're going to end this bird. So I take my finger, come across, and that's where I'm going to end this bird. So we start our line at the bird's head, and we're coming down and out, right down. And I want to keep it the same length here. So I'm coming to this side, come out, and back down. Let's look at the big paper. There it is. So now I have 2 birds' bodies, and then they're going to be sitting in a nest. Let's add the wings now. This bird has a side view wing, and this bird just has its wings in the front, tucked in. Remember, these are baby birds, and they haven't learned to fly yet, so their wings are tucked in. We're going to come down with the letter V and very long diagonal, and then come right back up. This is a very large letter V. It should have a point here. And we can add the feather designs. These are the details of the feathers. These lines represent feathers on the bird's wings. And his wings have long feathers. So I'm adding some long lines here for feather design. And this friend here, this bird, his wings are going to be on its side. So I come from the edge of his head here on his shoulders. So this is the bird's shoulder. I'm coming out, down, out, down, and then I'm going to come back up straight to the body, back up straight to the body, and this is a straight diagonal line. There's his bird's wings. So we have two birds here. Now we're going to put them in a nest. And our nest is made of branches and moss and leaves, big sticks. So we're going to add the lines around the bird first. So we're going to come over, we can add just lines coming over, and then long horizontal lines. And now at the bird here, the edge of the bird, I'm going to do a diagonal line up. And we can do a diagonal line here. Now I'm going to do a diagonal line down, and on this side, a diagonal line up. The corners here, if you notice, for your nest, this forms, let's look, diagonal line up. This forms almost a triangle, isn't it? This space here. And the same on this side, it's almost a triangle. Now let's connect our nest together. We can put several sticks in for the bottom of the nest. And then we can add a branch. See how a branch comes out from the nest? So from this line, I'm coming out to the edge of my page. I'm going right off my page. I come to the edge, right off the page. On this side, I do the same thing. Come to from the edge, here's my diagonal, right off the page. Skip a space, do the same. So there's our branch. We just made that branch here, right here. If you would like, you can put eggs in your nest. You can even put one back here. Whoop, that's behind. See that one? Right here, color it. There he is. There's an egg behind. 3 eggs and 2 babies have hatched. To make an egg, curve up and back. Make sure it's in your nest. And if you have room back here, you could put one up and back. I don't draw on top of my baby bird. Now, we're ready to add some color. If you want to have your bird can be a different color here. We can even add a tummy shape. You can come up and back, and he can have a little white tummy, or you can color it a light color tummy. Sometimes these birds, for example, these bluebirds, the adult bluebird is blue body and his tummy is like a red color or has a rusty color on this particular bird. Now we're going to go ahead and add some color and color this in, and you can color this in any way you want to. You can use markers, crayons, or paint. For my class, we're going to add lots of different texture lines now in the nest. So we can take some crayons, and if I push really hard with my crayons, I'm adding branch lines. And I do some diagonally this way, and I overlap and crisscross, and then I go the opposite way. and I'm using brown. You can also add some orange for lighter color branches, and you can add yellow in here, even gray, because a lot of times nests, when you look at them far away, they have gray in them. They look kind of grayish. The old bark. So I'm adding lots of nest lines for branches. And then I'm going to color very neatly, and I'm pushing pretty hard. I want this to be nice and dark. I'm coloring the branch right here. And I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to color the branch, pushing really hard with a brown crayon. You can even use a brown marker as well. That's up to you. Now, depending on your babies, whoever's in your nest, you can color your birds any color you want to, any design you want to. And oftentimes, baby birds are not the same color as their mother. A lot of times the baby birds are either gray or light brown feathers, so they hide and blend in with the nest. But since we're artists, we're going to use our imagination, and we want this picture to be colorful. So you can pick different colors for your birds, and you can use your imagination on your birds. They can be beautiful bluebirds or robins or cardinals with the beautiful red colors. It's up to you for how you want to color them in. And then, of course, you can add other things. You might want to add some bumblebees to the background. You might want to add flowers in your trees. So that's up to you how you finish it, and how you color in your eggs as well.